Hello everyone, welcome to Fablehaven Guild Wars Reforged. The legendary MMO celebrated its 20th anniversary earlier this year, where the developers put in some extra freebies that people could go after if they so desired, and the community desired so much that the overwhelming response led the developers to pursuing Reforged. Now, Reforged is not an entire remaster or re-release of Guild Wars, but it does bring it up towards kind of like the modern era of PC capability and fixes a lot of back-end complications. So I wanted to go over real quick what this means, kind of showcase what it would entail for a new player, and talk about the possibilities while tempering expectations. Because when I first read this name, my expectations went through the roof. They're not quite there yet. So what is Guild Wars Reforged? Guild Wars Reforged is an update to the original MMO. And this was kind of necessary because it started on its own individual launcher. It still has its own individual launcher. But it migrated to Steam, who knows how long ago now. And it's always had a little bit of a disconnect. But it no longer will. The three main campaigns are all coming together into one game that will connect to Steam and connect to ArenaNet, and will allow you to connect to Guild Wars 2 on Steam as well. But just bring everything together. If you've never played Guild Wars before, it is an MMO that is very unique. And it has three different campaigns. These are, they call them parallel campaigns. They're completely standalone, but they're also tied together. It's a little confusing, but don't worry, I'll explain it. For those who know what Guild Wars is, this is what Reforged is entailing. So a new low price, Guild Wars Factions, and Guild Wars Nightfall will all be bundled together and be 20 USD. I'm assuming there will be regional pricing. Steam Deck verified, pending. They were playing with the controller on the dev stream, so I'm assuming they're just waiting for Steam's red tape. Support for X and port controllers, such as the Xbox wireless controller, new quest tracking and direction system, on-screen control guide, UI enhanced with HD skill icons, larger text options, and quality of life improvements, support for high DPI displays, new ambient occlusion, HD bloom, and anti-aliasing rendering enhancements, rebuilt audio system with environmental effects, no hardware support needed. So this is what Reforged is. The game, as it is right now, is just being elevated a little bit. For players who have Guild Wars, what this means is you can play right now, and just on December 3rd, the game will change over, and it will have all of these new features. Because of new lighting and whatnot, the game will look a little better, and it can come up to a higher resolution, and refresh rate, and all that stuff. But it's not actually getting a graphical update. They're not actually changing any skills, and none of that. There's no new servers, there's no economic refresh. It is just the game, which you can play right now, of course. If you've never played Guild Wars before, what does all of that mean? What do you get for 20 USD? You can make a PvP character if you want to, but in the role-playing character, you gain access to this. The three different campaigns that are parallel, different, and yet equal. Factions is basically the first game. This was very old school MMO design. It is very difficult. Maybe not very difficult. It's pretty hard. It was kept in mind with the idea that you'd be playing with other people, but you don't have to. There are ways around it. It is a very long story, and it is an incredible story. But it is very long. Factions was the first expansion, and this had a bit of a PvP focus, but it was an incredible story alongside it, and was my personal favorite. As you went through the world, we gain access to two new classes, the Ritualist and the Assassin. But the Elementalist, Mesmer, Necromancer, Monk, Ranger, and Warrior are all on prophecies and can be made here as well. And then last but not least was Nightfall. Factions also added elite skills, which were incredible like capstones to your character. And instead of just going to someone to learn them, you had to loot them off of bosses' corpses with the signature, the skill signet, capture signet. Fantastic. Nightfall was kind of what, even Steven said, this was kind of like their complete campaign. They felt they had done the best design for this. And it starts off really handholdy, but it kind of gets you going the easiest, and it unlocks heroes. Also, of course, you gain access to the two other classes, the Paragon and the Dervish. And heroes are kind of important for really pushing the game if you're not going to play with others. But I suppose we can talk about heroes real quick. So when I said you can get around playing with others, that's because Guild Wars introduced henchmen. Even in Prophecies, you'll have access to the henchmen, well, post-searing. These are NPCs that kind of just play their role that you can see in their description. Like Grave Henchman is a minion master, Shock will try to interrupt skills, Healer heals, Spirit summons spirits, Fighter fights. You get the point. Heroes, on the other hand, are henchmen that are not only slightly better, but you can change their equipment as well. So if you kind of plan to play mostly solo, you can gain access to heroes and kit them out as well, and they can really just basically take the place of other players. Of course, for the highest possible end game stuff, like the Underworld, Abaddon, maybe you can do Abaddon with this, I don't know. A player team might be necessary, especially on hard mode, but you could do like 98%, 99% of the game with heroes. And of course, that's not counting PvP, which it looks like someone just won the Hall of Heroes. Congratulations, Dog Goes Wolf. I hope you're not a bot. I have heard that the bot problem has been pretty severe. I'm not sure if they'll do a round of like bot bashing prior to the release or following the release of Reforged, but I kind of hope they do. Guild Wars doesn't have a classic like auction house thing. I can't remember where it is in Cantha. This character, of course, doesn't have any money, but you can purchase... Wow. Those are very specific. Usually runes are what you're looking for to increase your character's efficacy, and you can purchase this from NPCs that have bought it from players who are pretty much just dumping, the thing to get it out of their inventory. And some of these can be wildly expensive. The economy can be peculiar. I mean, it's been 20 years. Like, the Superior Fire Rune is a plat, 500 gold, 1500 gold. The Superior Earth Magic Rune, which I have, is 200. So, you take what you can get. Then there's materials to craft gear, and all that stuff. So it's not like a traditional auction house, but you can use the chat if people are around. Most of the people are playing right now are in pre-searing Ascalon, so the very beginning of Prophecies, because they're just vibing. And there's like special stuff you can unlock there, but shall we go find them? I remember this equipment. Oh, this is ancient, this Elementalist gear. Wow. I'm at level 16. This is the basically the pre-campaign for Prophecies. And the way this works is you, without spoiling anything, you leave this place at like level 5 or 6 or something. But you get special stuff for sticking around all the way. There's a special title. It's called the Legendary Defender of Ascalon. I don't know if we can find one. For reaching level 20 here, which is the level cap. But yeah. One of the cool things about Guild Wars is that it has like its own character class building thing. Like, of course, there's class archetypes like the Monk and the Mesmer and whatnot. But you can kind of build your Monk and Mesmer in different ways. Every class has a few different categories, and you get a subclass as well. If you're in Prophecies, your subclass can't be changed for a while, but it can eventually. If you're in Factions or Nightfall, it can be changed pretty quickly, pretty easily. Hey, look! Luxon Town owns. My goodness. Someone's out there trying to recruit already. Well, still, I suppose. So, Illusion, Domination, Inspiration, Magic are all Mesmer skills. Fast casting is a Mesmer exclusive thing. I am Necromancer for my subclass, so I don't gain access to their unique thing, but I do gain access to Blood Magic, Death Magic, and Curses. So you can mix and match all of the classes together. of course, as long as you have access to them, and really just make it your own. And there are, like, what? Are there close to 1,000 skills? There are many, 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 many skills. I think each faction or each expansion has like 300 or something. So you can mix and match and do whatever you please. And the game's always been unique that way, and with the henchmen, you can kind of do whatever you want. There are all sorts of quests and stories being told, and of course there's players, and then there's PvP. I haven't played PvP in a long time, like since Factions came out, but if you really want to delve in it, you can make a PvP dedicated character over here on the character type. A PvP only character, I think you're locked to what you've unlocked in the campaign. Sure, whatever. Isn't she beautiful? Great. YOLO. Oh. YOLO task is already in use. This is for a video, lol. Too many characters. Great. So, you just come to the Great Temple. There are so many quests here all the time. Tons of people over here. And, I have access to most of my skills. We can create just PvP equipment, and we can build our character however we want within the confines of the PvP play area, which is the island here. And we can go between the different things we want. You can play around, do whatever you want. PvP has never really been my thing outside of the control in factions, but you can explore and hop around and follow your heart's desire. Future Fabe here. Before entering the yapping phase of this video, I just wanted to add a few more things. Guild Wars Reforged, to anyone who owns just one of the Guild Wars expansions, will give you the rest of them. So if you just own Prophecies, then you will gain access to Factions and Nightfall as well. And that also means if you had Prophecies in the past, but you've lost your account or your pass, whatever, the ArenaNet account recovery is very efficient. They got back to me on a weekend and were able to restore my account just off the name of, I think I gave them my billing address and my government name, and they were able to give me my account back. So, highly recommend trying that if you played Guild Wars at all in the past. Even if you just got the first game and, you know, got to level 5 and stopped playing or whatever, give it a shot. You might be able to gain access to everything. And, most importantly perhaps, is the Guild Wars is buy-to-play, no subscription. That has been its model forever, and it has been a phenomenal model, I think, for the game's survivability. So I mentioned the dev stream. I'll leave a link in the description down below if you'd like to watch it. It unfortunately had a bit of a rocky start. There were some technical issues with it's not starting on YouTube and some lag on the Twitch stream. The performance of the game that they were showing was pretty bad, but it was just a display issue. They were able to fix it, and it looked all nice and smooth. And they were playing with a controller with no complications. If you're on PC, you do have to type with your keyboard for like typing, but there should be a virtual keyboard for like the Steam Deck or other consoles. Most of their discussion during the dev stream was simply what it kind of took to get to the stage of Reforged and why they wanted to readdress it. One of them, Steven, had been working on Guild Wars for a long time, kind of just by himself. Because, of course, the primary development of ArenaNet is on Guild Wars 2. Which, while it is fun, I've kind of been playing it on and off. It really has nothing on the original Guild Wars. This is a game of soul, dare I say. It's from a different time, really. Oh, here's a red iris flower. Right, my inventory's full. Of garbage, mostly. Oh, hi. I don't know why this sounded familiar to me. Anywho, the dev stream was mostly just them talking about how they've really gone into the back end and changed things up. How they're expanding the system to be more in line with modern PCs, and how now they can go in and change a lot of things. And one example they had of that is that Eye of the North and the bonus mission pack in the future will be classified as DLC. And this special new classification will allow them to create potential new DLC stuff. Whether that's, who knows if it's more outfits or more skills or something, but there could be new content for Guild Wars in the future, or question mark, anything. One thing that Steven wanted to drive home a few times is they aren't interested in something like a refresh. Now, I personally was really interested in the idea of a classic WoW, old school RuneScape type thing, where they start from the beginning on a new server, and everyone would be here in Prophecies, and then time would go on and they would expand. I think that's something that they could pursue. I honestly don't know how they would make money off of it. But I would personally love to see it. If they, because Reforged gives you access to all three of them, it's not something they could do right now, I don't think. Because, I mean, a character starting in Nightfall is going to be many, many times more powerful than a character starting in Prophecies. And so, of course, if you're on new servers that are both, you know, all connected with characters that can come from Elonia, like, that would just be awful. There would be no comparison at all. They would have to start from the beginning. Oh yeah, look, we're that old school. This elemental corpse isn't a corpse for flesh. Good times. And of course, if you want to be, you know, Mimi, just pick, not even Mimi, the Mesmer's just like the best. They're so strong. They're stupid strong. They've also always been annoying. I've never liked my energy disappearing, thanks Mesmers. And your health never going down. Good memories have come back while I've been thinking about this video. But yeah, that was kind of all for the dev stream. I'm gonna get knocked down here. Oh, I think that only knocks down if you're casting. Maybe. The Q&A was pretty much just them yapping about backend and how there is now great potential for them to do stuff. And, I mean, Guild Wars could be back on the menu, ladies and gentlemen. This is a game that I loved. I played it a whole bunch with my brother. We both beat Prophecies. We both beat factions. We ended up being on different factions. He didn't like the emo Kurziks like I did. How much do I have? This character has some Lux and Heresy. I don't know if 250,000 faction points is good. It might have been one point in time. We don't need to think about that. They added a patch later on that let you switch factions, and everyone, of course, would go to the winning side. And sadly, I wouldn't say the Kurziks were always the winning side. But I still love them. House von Zelter, whatever his name is, will reign forever. Of course, No, I'm not going to spoil the story. But yeah, great times ahead. I haven't really decided what I wanted to do for content. I was kind of just going to come back and vibe. I might even try a pre-Searing character and get the legendary Defender of Ascalon. But I haven't decided what to do or what not to do. Just note this is a thing. I will most likely be playing it. And if you want to be a part of it, it starts December 3rd. I'm curious what they're going to do about their other monetary stuff. Because they have the mercenary heroes you can purchase. And they have a few outfits. And that's kind of it, I think. Oh, you can buy skill unlocks. I think I have them all, except maybe from Nightfall. I'm not sure. But, yeah. Great game. Old game. It has that old school MMO jank and passion that you can feel just by playing. If you've never played it before, it is a phenomenal time, and there is so much content. You will have plenty of stuff to do. For $20, it would be difficult to find more value, more bang for your buck than Guild Wars Reforged. So thank you all for watching. I hope that you enjoyed. Thank you. Can I teleport? I can. Great. Thank you to the patrons and the channel support channel. I greatly appreciate you. If you'd like to stay up to optional, including potential Guild Wars Reforged content, feel free to join the Discord description down below. And I will see you all, possibly, on December 3rd. A moment of silence for the 20 years that have come and gone.